I'm going to tell you that this took a really, really, really long time. And I'm going to share the last, I don't know how many seconds with you here while this takes care of itself. But hello, everybody. This is Frogman. Welcome back to FTB Skies. And the last thing we have to craft, as far as the game is concerned, right there and then taking care of itself. Give me my fourth one. Good God, thank you. Hello, everybody. Good. Wow. I mean, I don't even know what else to say past that. There's 5 Antimatter Pellets. You guys are going to get a couple of, probably a couple of little time lapses of all that fun mess and all this silliness. But let's go ahead and just toss that in, and then I'll show you. But let's, right now, end this insanity. Thank you very much, Cheaty Storage Disk and 1,000 XP levels. Thank you very, very, very much. I'm going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it running. We're going to talk about it. We'll go ahead and talk about it real quick, and then I'll do a couple of quick little things. I kind of time-lapsed a little bit of what I did at the beginning just to make sure that this thing was functional. This took a lot of fiddling to the point that I changed the way this worked, and I changed the size of that, and I did a little bit of goofing around. This generator now, this turbine is making almost $1.5 million FE a tick at this point in time, and we had to do a little bit of finagling to get things to work, but it looks like it's at least coming back up into line. In the end, all said and done, I managed to get this thing to be cruising through at 52 millibuckets a tick per however long. This took, not gonna lie, don't even remember counting most of it. The math said something like 13 hours for the 42, I think, that I originally had it, and then I tweaked and tweaked and tweaked until I could get it up to here. So this mess right here helps me get it through the night so that I don't have to sleep. So I just put a whole bunch of advanced pressurized tubes behind here. That holds something in the neighborhood of 300 millibuckets or 350 millibuckets of the nuclear waste as it is working. That is then stored up and to be ready for the next time in the morning or whenever this thing ready kicks back on, so that we can then do the solar neutron activation kind of stuff. And then that all kind of goes over into here too slowly. And I mean ever so slowly. The numbers are, I think if I remember correctly, it's a millibucket every 10 seconds. So it's slow. Slow. But it did the work and we got it done. So, couple of other little things I'm going to look at before we shove off and do a couple of things. We started over here with the, we started doing a few other things. I went ahead and converted this little process over here over to, I think it's a 4 times or 3 times ore duplication on the raw uranium, because the uranium turns out to be reasonably rare, although I do have a few little stacks. We're currently getting that from a different place. That has definitely helped on a little bit of stuff because I was absolutely running out of things. This has been going nonstop. I mean, I turned the game on and let it run for something like 8 hours over the weekend, or 9 hours over the weekend, and then again I turned it on this morning to let it just kind of play around and run and watch and fiddle. And I fiddled with things to get it to work. So this has been running pretty much nonstop, specifically so we can run the gravel. The gravel, of course, if we sieve gravel, where is our sieving device thingy here? Gravel. Where did it go? That right there. With the best mesh that we have, with the amethyst mesh, we're getting an occasional fluorite and an occasional raw uranium. Both were these, the three raw resources we needed to worry about were starting to really kick us in the tail. The beauty of this one is it does get us a whole pile of coal. So I did shut off the gunpowder thing making sulfur because, well, it ended up not being absolutely necessary. What I did, however, go do is I doubled up considerably on the PRCs doing the coal into sulfur dust process. For whatever reason, this got to a point where it kind of wasn't running worth a damn, and then I finally got it sorted out and figured to where we're pretty much okay. So Three PRCs was enough to keep up with three chemical oxidizers, but for whatever reason, the last 2 or 3 hours, this thing has settled down and not done anything because I found something that I did not know existed. So this is something that's very important. It's a gas upgrade. This right here, this gas upgrade, just iron dust, iron, and things like this. What this does is it increases the efficiency of gas using machinery. Using meaning stuff that needs to be able to make gas or use gas in order to be able to make a few things. What's very interesting about that is the which one is it? This one, this dissolution chamber. The only thing in the whole wide world here that was causing me the most pain mainly was this thing because of the amount of sulfuric acid. For whatever reason, it's eating. It's eating sulfuric acid. This is gas. This is a gas. Now, we can't use this inside these chemical infusers. We can't use it in anything else. But in this one, you can use in a gas efficiency thingy, which I guess, I don't know what the number is exactly. I have no idea. It says 10% or 10 times. I'd love to know what that number means so I can understand what's going on. But once I put that in place, this process over here with the sulfur got not too terrible after that. It took a little bit of work. I had to use the fancy universal pipe because the fancy universal pipe allows me to tie power and electricity and energy and a bunch of other little things all into one place. It's the only all-in-one pipe we have, and PRCs, especially this middle one, I needed every single side of that thing and I couldn't get to it, so we had to kind of do a little bit of goofing around. But I just basically have an ME interface over here delivering coal to those. The coal is, well, just then being turned into sulfur dust using water and oxygen, which is pretty much free. So the big thing about the coal is, well, we needed to make sure we had plenty of coal. Part of the fun thing that I did a long time ago is that I started working with this thing to get this up and self-aware. And we had like 8 or 10,000 wither skeleton things, the prediction, the matrices, whatever, they're over here now. We're, I think, down finally to 3 or 4,000. Every single one of those is a stack or a half a stack of coal. So I set this up so that it would run coal and run coal and run coal and run coal, and it's managed to actually obtain more coal than what we started with because I had so much I just shut it off. We've also been working some of the other things that are going on, and I've not been sleeping. So like I said, it hasn't blown up yet. Because I've been paying attention to it. But yeah, overnight it takes it runs about 300 millibuckets through those pipes behind it. So, but it's been working and it's working fine. So yeah, it'll just sit there and fill those up, and then this will get about to it's coolant, heated, whichever one of these things, it gets to about right there before the sun comes up, and then it immediately chews through all of this stuff. But we'll go ahead and sleep again, just to keep it running, because why not? What else did I have to do? Oh, we had to, down here, I went ahead and set up a laser drill specifically with a light gray laser lens so that we could get a laser lens. Light gray is so that I can get lots of fluorine or fluorite. Fluorite was kind of a pain early because of the fact that I wasn't able to get a lot of it. But as soon as I did this, it's like it just comes in droves and immediately gets taken care of. So we were kind of short on it. I'm still kind of very low, but it's been eating consistently. These things are awful. I've always hated laser these things, mainly because of the fact that they tend to do some goofy stuff the way that it works. And I probably need to turn that back up. Where is this? Fluorite. F-O-A-R. What's the ore supposed to be at? Minimum, maximum. So it's like 15, 30, something like that. This number doesn't seem to make much difference considering I'm already down here on the bottom, but it is kind of doing the work. The other thing that we did go ahead and do, and I should say here, we'll go look at the one in the nether really fast. I don't know why I'm going over here. Nether, set, go. In the nether, I went ahead and set one up because this is where you can get uranium, and I did the kind of a double thing. Something that's new about these now, especially these laser bases, is that you can run a whole lot of laser drills on the side of them. So I went ahead and set up 3 of them. They're all upgraded with as many efficiency add-on thingies as we can possibly do, mainly because of the fact we have the capability of doing everything like that. And this has a lime laser lens, and it is slowly but surely dragging in most of the uranium that we have been using. It is Again, I wish I'd had thought about it. I think the majority of the stuff that we have been getting has actually been coming from the sieving, which is fine. But, you know, we're burning RF to make RF, and I'm legitimately burning RF. I've got speed upgrades and energy upgrades and upgrades in this and upgrades in that. And, well, just to keep that thing running, of course, is, you know, 250 million RF a tick. But I think at this point, currently, we should be actually adding power to the system once I figured out that I had a mistake. So yeah, we're inputting 250 or 350 or 3.5 million. Use your math. Outputting 2.5 million roughly. In order to make that 1 point whatever the heck it is million, it's costing me 140,000 RF. So we're on levels of where we were in in Manufactio back in the day without all of the upgrades. So this whole mess, this whole goofiness when it was running wide the heck open was 130,000 RF, and then the miners, the two miners that we've got going, I think they're both like 20 and 30,000 RF respectively, not counting all of the processing that's happening over here. So in reality, that 1.4 million, we're only seeing an actual 1.2 excess out of it, which is fine. It works, but I'm glad we're done with it. So what do we do with this, you say? Well, we hang it on the wall because we don't need it. We don't need it. We don't need it. I mean, there are ways of making it work, and I think we might try it later on here in a second. But I think for right now, you got some time lapses you get to watch, and then I think we're going to go do some goofing. With all that silliness, one more thing I think I want to do is something we've been kind of putting off, mainly because I really didn't see, well, want, need, nor near to do it, and I'm going to have to figure out where it actually is again, because it's been a minute since we actually did anything. There, that thing. There's one more little dungeon-y kind of thing we can go ahead and do. I was going to go ahead and kind of maybe try to just complete a lot of this stuff, but for the most part, this is just do this, do that, do this, do that, kind of this. But this sounds like something we can have fun with. So we need Eye of the Sky Legend to go find the Sky Castle. And I think we'll finish with that. Eye of the Sky, which I think is going to be this, is going to be that, which I need to make a few more of those. Just make 10 of them because we got a lot of stuff. And I'm going to do that. And Eye of the Sky Legend. Now, this is... This is something you can do if you want to go have a little bit of fun playing around in a dungeon and a few other little things. I'm going to shut this off because I don't need it to explode while we're gone. Because if it explodes, it makes a nasty mess, and a mess that I can't really easily clean up. No, I don't need a stick. Thank you. Very much. That was the other thing. Like I accumulated so many sticks and so many chests and so many things from all this mess. But anyhow, I have this guy. This will lead us to a dungeon if we so choose to go find it. So I think it's gonna be over there. All right, let's gonna go. Well, I thought we were going to go take a nice little wander through a dungeon and go play around today, but apparently either it's my computer or the game that doesn't want to work. I flew for an hour this direction, the direction it pointed me, and I mean an honest to God hour, using the speed at which I could get through things 25 or I forget, 200, 25,000, at least 25,000 blocks away in a direction. And I got to a point where I just passed one of those villages and realized where we were. Computer was hitching terribly badly. It was having a hard time. I don't know whether it's just a pack and the fact that I've had it on all day long or whatever, but it has been another one of those times where it's like legitimately time to give up and try something else. So, what we are going to do, since we did get a couple of things, was intending on this to be the last episode. However, I'm going to try to get one more. I want to go do this. If we can get it done, cool. If not, I don't know. I'll just maybe try to force it to spawn someplace close or whatever. But we're just gonna have to kind of go from there. It's just with the way today has been as far as trying to get one more thing recorded, it is not functioning. We've crashed a couple of times. I've had to do a couple of other things. Today has just been one of those days where it's just whatever wants to work works, and whatever doesn't want to work for sure does not. So anyhow, we completed this process. We got the last cool thing, which is the cheaty storage disk, and I guess we can go down here and take a really quick look at it and maybe do a little wander, or maybe not, I don't know. But anyhow, did prepare a few things. We already had a controller, I can't spell for crap today. Controller, a drive, and a grid ready to go for this, just so that we can kind of see the silly. So all of that fun stuff, trying to come up with all of this thing, and this is your reward, which is you get to end the game with everything in the game. So you put that in there, and now you have 2 billion of everything in the game. I wonder actually. Oh my, you have one of everything, including everything creative in the game, times 2 billion. That's a little insane. So yeah, you can have all kinds of fun once you get to this point. You just, plug in what you think you need to plug in, and yeah. Good Lord. Anyhow, I think we'll leave that sit right there. I don't think there was anything else I really needed to look at as far as other things were concerned with the way that this has been going. We did do a fair amount of goofing around. This has been one of the more industrial bases that I've kind of tried to do without making things very pretty. I was planning on building walls, but we hit a point with the way that the pack was going where I kind of just decided that, well, I really just wanted to make parts and make things and get things done, and maybe learn a little bit of a new mod, for me at least, a new mod where we got to play around with create a little bit, which is why this is kind of clean, mainly because of the fact we were here for a little while. One thing I will say, and I want to say this because it is a kind of an interesting thing. It's my first time using it on this scale. This has been an absolutely robust and stout and dependable mod, or at least dependable as far as this factory level has been concerned. It's slow now. At this late stage of the game, it's for sure slow, but it has been absolutely rock solid for what I have needed it to do. It's made parts and pieces and stuff since day one, and I think I need to turn you back on so that you can finish doing your work over here. But it's been pretty much with minimal, and I mean very, very minimal work, all of this stuff has just continuously produced materials for us to use. So it has been a lot of fun to kind of learn, create a little bit, or at least get to use it in this kind of a fashion. I think create is probably a pretty good staple idea now for a like early game skyblock style kind of thing, so that you get started with it outside of say something like Ex Nihilo or whatever. So I really enjoyed it. There's some other goofy stuff going on, like working with the bees especially has been very fun. It kind of it makes it a little bit more interesting as far as the sizes of things and concerned, and it's just been a little bit more of a joy than some of the other mods. I mean, like I said, there's nothing wrong with Botania, and there's nothing wrong with Elemental Craft. I actually am kind of looking forward to maybe playing with this one a little bit later on, or a little bit more, because there's some really cool things you can do with that one. The occultism, I don't know, witchery and whatnot, the witchcraft kind of things, I never really enjoyed them very much, mainly because of the fact that they were mostly there for the trolling of other people and not really so much as good use. Yeah, sure, you can fly, who cares? Ad Astra, or not Ad Astra, Ars is something that I used to use a lot, and I haven't used it in many years because of the fact that they haven't done anything really cool with it. This is pretty cool. I'm very impressed with how all of this works. I'll have to use some more of this eventually. um, Same old staple with Botania. I really kind of enjoyed the fact that this Elven altar is capable of accepting a spark, and that should be part of the base game. That was amazing. And the fact that you can just utterly just cram as much mana in a thing as you want to. So what I'm going to do, and I hate to say it, I think with all of that, we're going to call this one here. I'm not going to call the series just as of yet. If I can manage to get it to work, we will go do that dungeon as an ending episode kind of thing for the rest of us. But what I am going to say is, with this ending of this episode, it's probably going to be kind of short, and I apologize for that, but there is absolutely nothing I can do when, things just don't want to work. I do want to use my thing. And I know we can kind of have a little bit of fun with it there. So what I'm going to do again is, in the comments below, please by all means give me some suggestions for other packs or perhaps other games that you guys would like me to play that would be on the level of something that is going on with the way we've been doing Minecraft for a while. I really have been looking hard for another one, and I'm kind of thinking we're at a point again where we may have to give Minecraft a break for a little while, because there really isn't anything worth playing at this point that isn't something we've already done 100,000 times. So anyhow, the rest of you know better than I do. By all means, let me know. Tell me how goofy this thing looks. I mean, this was the worst set of armor I think I've had in forever, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.